Edith Hall, Aristotle's Way, How Ancient Wisdom Can Change Your Life. In Aristotle's Way, How Ancient Wisdom Can Change Your Life, Edith Hall takes us on a journey through the life and work of one of history's greatest philosophers, Aristotle. As we delve into his tumultuous life, we discover how Aristotle's teachings on happiness, decision-making, rhetoric, moderation, and different types of friendship can help us navigate the complexities of modern life. This book summary provides a tantalizing glimpse of the rich and enduring wisdom that Aristotle has to offer, and how we can use it to enhance our lives today.
Aristotle's turbulent life. Aristotle, despite experiencing many upheavals throughout his life, made substantial contributions to various fields of knowledge. It wasn't until the last 12 years of his life that he produced the works he is remembered for today. Aristotle, born in 384 BCE in Stagira, Greece, asked questions that continue to resonate today. What is the nature of existence? What drives animal behavior? Which political systems are best? How can we live well? His efforts to answer these questions laid the groundwork for metaphysics, zoology, political philosophy, and ethics. Aristotle's early years were characterized by significant upheaval. Losing both his parents at the age of 13, he found himself in a turbulent Greek-speaking world plagued by military conflict. Despite these challenges, Aristotle's quest for knowledge led him to Athens at 17, the epicenter of learning and culture in ancient Greece. Once there, he studied at Plato's Academy, the first university in the Western world, under the tutelage of the renowned philosopher Plato. Following Plato's death, Aristotle left Athens and relocated to the kingdom of Atarneus in present-day Anatolia. There he married Pythias, the daughter of the local ruler Hermias, and enjoyed a tranquil period studying the wildlife on the nearby island of Lesbos. However, this peace was short-lived. In 343 BCE, King Philip II of Macedonia called on Aristotle to tutor his son Alexander, who would later become Alexander the Great. Aristotle's time in Macedonia exposed him to court politics, characterized by treachery and manipulation, which he found unpalatable. After Philip's assassination and Alexander's ascension to the throne, Aristotle returned to Athens. It was during the last 12 years of his life in Athens that Aristotle experienced his most productive period. Every text he is remembered for, plus 130 that have since been lost, was written during this time. His remarkable contributions to understanding the world are underscored by philosopher Robert J. Anderson, who stated, "There is no ancient thinker who can speak more directly to the concerns and anxieties of contemporary life than Aristotle." The essence of human happiness. Aristotle raises the question, what is a human, and identifies reason as the key human characteristic. Pondering the concept of happiness, he uses the term eudaimonia, rejecting material prosperity as its basis. Instead, Aristotle concludes that happiness consists of actively learning and thinking about life experiences. This implies humans achieve happiness by contemplating how to live their best life. Aristotle's exploration of human nature leads him to determine that reason is what sets us apart from other living beings. Unlike plants and animals, humans engage in actions governed by thought before, during, and after an activity takes place. This unique capability of reason allows us to reflect on something beyond basic survival, how to live well and experience happiness. Rooted within the ancient Greek philosophers' understanding of happiness lies the term eudaimonia, a multifaceted word sometimes translated as prosperity. However, Aristotle firmly opposes the notion that happiness equates to material wealth. As proof, he cites Democritus, who declared that the happiness of the soul cannot be obtained through gold or livestock. In Aristotle's view, eudaimonia is not merely an emotional state, as attaining happiness through a lifetime of passivity would be unacceptable. He believes that true happiness is rooted in action, specifically, engaging in activities that expand our knowledge and understanding of the world around us. Through active contemplation and learning from our life experiences, we unleash our greatest human potential and attain happiness. This understanding of happiness aligns with Aristotle's definition of what it means to be human, thinking and reasoning. The connection between our humanity and happiness implies that the purpose of life is to achieve happiness. In Aristotle's perspective, the ultimate way to experience happiness is by continuously seeking the best ways to live and thrive. So, now that we have established the foundations of happiness, let's delve into how this concept applies in our daily lives. Mastering Aristotle's decision formula. Thousands of decisions are made daily, but life-changing ones call for a thoughtful and methodical approach. Drawing from Aristotle's wisdom, the secret to making better choices lies in taking your time, verifying information, and seeking expert advice. By following these three fundamental rules, we can significantly improve the quality of our decisions and lead a happier, more fulfilling life. According to Aristotle, excelling at decision-making is crucial for living a good life. It's possible to derive his formula for effective deliberation from his extensive works, which comprises three essential rules that can be applied to all significant decisions. The first rule emphasizes the importance of avoiding hasty deliberation. Instead of making impulsive choices, take time to contemplate decisions thoroughly. For example, if you're contemplating leaving your partner after a heated argument, give it some time, as your perspective may change once your emotions settle. This notion is similar to the age-old advice to sleep on it, highlighting the importance of patience throughout the decision-making process. The second rule focuses on the need to validate information. Before making a choice based on rumors or unverified information, it's essential to determine the facts. For instance, if you hear gossip about your spouse being unfaithful, resist the urge to act on impulse. Instead, take time to verify the information, even if it means confronting your partner or seeking more solid evidence. This practice of scrutinizing information is essential in the pursuit of well-informed decisions. Lastly, the third rule endorses consulting experts. Just as you wouldn't board a plane with an inexperienced pilot, you shouldn't make crucial decisions without expert assistance. If you find yourself at a crossroads on matters beyond your expertise, seeking knowledgeable advice is essential. However, it is crucial to be cautious when selecting individuals who claim to be experts, as their credentials should be examined closely. By following Aristotle's time-tested formula of taking your time, verifying information, and seeking expert guidance, we can make better life decisions, resulting in greater overall happiness and satisfaction. Unmasking sophist tricks. Aristotle aimed to teach people how to identify manipulated arguments and faulty premises in rhetoric, preventing them from falling victim to misleading conclusions. By understanding the structure of a syllogism and recognizing weaknesses in the premises presented, one can effectively combat deceptive rhetoric and improve overall reasoning skills. In Aristotle's time, rhetoric, the art of persuasive speaking, had become tarnished, as it was often weaponized by unprincipled politicians seeking to mislead the public. Aristotle sought to empower people by helping them identify these deceptive techniques, known as sophist tricks. Central to this endeavor is the understanding of faulty premises as the foundation of bad arguments. At its core, a well-structured argument consists of premises and a conclusion. In a simple syllogism, a type of argument with Greek origins, two premises logically lead to a conclusion. For instance, stating, all philosophers are human, and Aristotle is a philosopher naturally leads to, Aristotle is a human. If both premises are accurate, the conclusion must also be factual. However, skillful speakers may introduce misleading or inaccurate premises, leading to seemingly firm but false conclusions. To illustrate this point, consider a real-life example involving a husband and wife named Susan. The husband used the following syllogism in an argument. Premise 1, Susan is in psychotherapy. Premise 2, people go to psychotherapy because they are psychologically inadequate. Conclusion, Susan is psychologically inadequate. The first premise is indisputable, as Susan was indeed in psychotherapy. By establishing a solid initial premise, listeners are more likely to accept the second premise, making it an ideal place to conceal a weakness in the argument. Susan recognized this faulty premise and responded with her own revised syllogism. Premise 1, Susan is in psychotherapy. Premise 2, by signing up for psychotherapy, people demonstrate psychological intelligence and adequacy. Conclusion, Susan is psychologically intelligent and adequate. While Susan's second premise is also debatable, this reflects the point she aimed to make: the quality of the conclusion relies on the accuracy of its premises. Through this example, Aristotle highlights how sophisticated speakers strategically plant deceptive premises within syllogisms to manipulate their audience. By learning to identify these manipulations, individuals can protect themselves from unsound arguments and sharpen their critical thinking abilities. Aristotle's ABCs of Rhetoric. Aristotle's 3 purposes of rhetoric outline the importance of effectively communicating with an audience to influence different areas of life, such as applying for a job. By understanding the audience, keeping your message brief and clear, you can make a lasting impression and excel in various situations. Aristotle's teachings emphasize the significance of rhetoric, the art of effective communication, and its impact on various aspects of life. He identifies 3 primary aims of rhetoric. Firstly, it convinces an audience to believe a specific account of past events. This type of rhetoric is commonly found in courtrooms. Secondly, it celebrates people or institutions in the current moment, as seen in a well-crafted speech at a wedding that appreciates the newlyweds. Lastly, it persuades someone to take action in the future, which can alter the course of history. Although Aristotle associates this category with great orators, such as Pericles, this type of rhetoric goes beyond historical change. In fact, Aristotle's rhetoric principles can assist you in personal ventures, like landing your dream job. A job application process depends greatly on effective communication, where crafting an exceptional cover letter can set you apart. Aristotle's advice can be summarized as the ABC of persuasive rhetoric, which includes focusing on the audience, brevity, and clarity in your message. A represents the audience, where understanding their emotions and making them feel valued is crucial. Instead of insincere flattery, try to learn more about the audience through public information and common industry knowledge to showcase genuine interest and respect. B represents brevity, where concise communication is more persuasive. According to Aristotle, a convincing cover letter needs only 2 components: a statement expressing your desire for the job and justified reasons for your candidacy. Additional information becomes irrelevant. Lastly, C stands for clarity, simplifying an essential aspect of Aristotle's advice. If your message lacks clarity, the audience will struggle to understand, and your persuasion will most likely fail. By implementing Aristotle's ABC approach, you will be able to make a strong impression in multiple situations, from job applications to giving speeches. Understanding your audience, sharpening your message, and ensuring clarity will pave the way for successful communication and persuasion. Virtue is a fruit of moderation. The various schools of philosophy in ancient Greece often focused on renunciation. However, Aristotle's moral system argues for moderation instead of renunciation. He believed that virtue lies between 2 associated vices and can be achieved by paying close attention to one's inner state. By following this middle path and avoiding the lure of extreme pleasure, one can find true happiness in the long run. In ancient Greece, numerous schools of philosophical thought competed against each other. Still, common ground among many of them was the belief that a virtuous life involved a form of renunciation. Stoics would suppress their emotions and physical desires, focusing on the life of the mind. Epicureans would step away from worldly power, fame, and fortune, opting for a quiet life filled with simple pleasures, while cynics like Diogenes rejected material possessions and challenged societal norms. Aristotle, however, had a different approach. His moral system advocated for moderation as the key to virtue. To illustrate, let's examine anger. Is it good or bad, a virtue or a vice? According to Aristotle, the answer depends on the degree to which one experiences anger. He believes that anger, when present in appropriate amounts, is essential for a healthy personality, as it enables one to react to injustices strongly and uphold what's right. However, frequent or excessive anger can make a person obnoxious and ill-mannered, in which case it becomes a vice. The true measure of virtue lies between these two extremes, a concept Aristotle termed the meson in Greek, meaning the middle, or the mean. Virtue does not simply oppose vice, it is a balanced path between two related vices. For instance, in the case of generosity, one should avoid excessive miserliness and lavishness, both of which are vices. So, how can one maintain this middle path or meson? Aristotle emphasizes the importance of self-awareness, as exemplified by the Greek maxim, know thyself. By paying close attention to one's inner state, it becomes easier to discern the correct balance. This balance often requires that we avoid the extreme that gives us intense pleasure. While engaging in morally questionable activities may provide a temporary thrill, by striving for moderation in virtuous behavior, one can achieve lasting happiness. Aristotle's 3 friendship types. Aristotle classifies relationships into 3 categories of friendship: utility, pleasure, and love, based on the intensity of the bond rather than on sexual or biological factors. Understanding these distinctions can help us appreciate and navigate diverse friendships in our lives. According to Aristotle, all human relationships can be viewed as variations of philoi or friendships. Instead of differentiating relationships based on sexual or biological aspects, he suggests focusing on the intensity of friendship that binds people together. By learning the distinctions among utility friendships, pleasure friendships, and deep love, we can enjoy and engage with each on its own terms. Utility friendships, for most people, are the most common type. These are bonds where both parties benefit from the association, similar to the instinctual interactions observed in animals. For instance, the sandpiper bird cleans a crocodile's teeth, gaining food in return from its reptilian comrade. Aristotle acknowledges that there's nothing wrong with these transactional friendships, but they do have limitations. Crossing these boundaries can jeopardize the relationship, like asking for a significant loan from an acquaintance who only offers you occasional rides. Pleasure friendships, on the other hand, involve individuals who share a common interest and derive mutual enjoyment from it. 2 humor-loving friends might cherish their bond because they make each other laugh, or cinephiles could bond over Japanese movies. However, these relationships also have practical limits, and such friends may not support you during a major life crisis. Utility and pleasure friendships are often subject to change, as shifting circumstances can alter or end the connection. A neighbor who once relied on you for pet care may no longer need your help after moving away. Similarly, pleasure friendships based on mutual appreciation of physical beauty might not withstand the test of time as looks fade. Finally, Aristotle introduces the most profound form of friendship, love. This deep connection transcends material concerns like replacing a worn coat. Instead, love flourishes as you grow more certain of your friends' characters and value them even more despite aging or life-altering struggles. Aristotle posits that such friends make the ideal life partners, as their bond extends beyond transient transactions or shared interests into a connection that grows stronger with time. By understanding these 3 types of friendships, we can better appreciate the diverse connections in our lives and make the most of each unique bond.
To sum up, Aristotle's way sheds light on the remarkable life and timeless teachings of the great philosopher. It guides us to embrace happiness through thinking, regardless of the challenges we face, while emphasizing the importance of taking our time, seeking expert advice, and striving for balance. The unique perspectives Aristotle offered on decision-making, rhetoric, virtue, and love are practical and relevant, even in today's fast-paced world. By understanding and applying Aristotle's wisdom, we can enhance our lives and find greater happiness in the present, as well as empower ourselves for the future.